Welcome to another fishing adventure, folks. As you can see, I'm under a bridge here and fishing a little bitty creek here. It's not that little bitty, it's a good sized little creek. It's probably about 25 feet wide here. Nice little pool here. I've been driving around all morning, stopping at every bridge I come across, trying to find some creek fishing spots. This is the first place I found after a couple hours that was more than like 5 feet wide. You know, all these creeks are just drainage ditches basically. So this is the best thing I found this morning. I'm gonna see if I can catch any fish out of here. I got 3 rods that I'm gonna be using: small, medium, large. Here's the small. This one's got 2-pound line, teeny tiny little tackle. This one's the medium. This one's got 6-pound line, slightly larger tackle. There's the hook right there. That's probably like a size 4 hook with a bobber. And the large, this is would be called like a channel cat rod here. It's got a little slip sinker rod. That's probably a size 2 hook there. I think I'm gonna throw all 3 of them out. Got a little bit of variety of bait here today. Of course, I stopped and picked up some night crawlers. I have my homegrown night crawlers here. They're all really small though, so that's why I brought some big juicy Canadian night crawlers. And then I've got some tilapia I'm going to use for the cut bait. And this is the first bait I'm going to put out, is a piece of this tilapia here. Not a big chunk, just, I don't know, something like that, I guess. I don't know what is in here that might eat. There might be a gar. I don't know what might eat something like this. Let's find out. Just a slip sinker rig. This is like probably a 1-ounce egg sinker down to a swivel. Just a short leader in that little, I don't know what size, 4 hook or something like that. I'm going to cast this one downstream and just let that sit there. And then I'm going to put some worms on some bobbers upstream and drift them down. That's it. It's only about a foot or 2 deep right there. I felt the sinker stuck right in the mud. Let's see, got some like wild cucumber stuff going on here, so maybe I can use this tangle for a rod holder. That'll work right there. Put a little bell on that one so I don't have to watch that. I'm going to start off, I think, pretty small with as far as the worms go. Find one of these little guys. Yeah, just a little bitty worm. These are out of my garden. Now I can fish 3 lines, but I think I'm only going to do 2 to start with here. Just such a small creek, there's really only room for 2. That's it, right there. Just a little tiny crawler and a little tiny hook. When I stopped at this bridge, I just knocked a little piece of bird poop out that was on the bridge off into the water, and it got attacked immediately by a bunch of stuff I'm sure were creek chubs. But those fish that were under here are surely gone now, because I've been here walking around, scaring them away. But so I'm going to cast upstream. I don't think they go too far. Instant. Yeah, instant bite. That is a creek chub, a little bitty one. That'd be a good bait. I think since creek chubs are, if there's any meat eaters in here, oh, I'm getting a bite on the tilapia. Probably a turtle. I'm gonna save this guy and use him for bait. Just gonna lay him in the cooler right there. Yeah, I'm getting a bite on this tilapia. You gotta wait for him to get hooked. In the meantime, I've still got my crawler on there with the bobber. I'm going to chuck this back out there and see if I can get some more creek chubs. I brought the viewing tank, so yeah, maybe I'll go put some water in this and we can get a little underwater view of these little fish that I'm catching here. You know, I'll just cast it right out in front of me and see what happens. Maybe they didn't get scared away. Nope, they didn't. Instant bite. Instant bait. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one that I just caught for bait. whatever meat eaters might be living in this creek probably would like a creek chub more than anything. That's probably the main forage fish. Oh yeah, tilapia is gone. Gone. Probably turtle. There we go. Super fresh cut bait just caught 2 minutes ago. Let's see. See if I can get down here and get some water without falling in. Oh yeah, that'll work nice. Alright, I'm gonna put my little bitty hook with worm on back out and see what happens. Try the other side of the creek here. Instant bite. Yeah, instant. We got creek chubs, folks. Yeah, this is the perfect size for the viewing tank. In he goes. Oh, trying to jump out. Not surprising. Sometimes if I put some rocks in there or something, it helps them to kind of chill out. Maybe I'll do that. I guess there's no rocks to be found anywhere here. No, there's no rocks, just mud and dirt. Check on this cut bait here. It's been a few minutes. Haven't heard any jingles. No, still got it. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not getting bites down there in the sunshine. It's the middle of the day. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's not a scorching summer day, but it's about 80 degrees, and that fish are probably hanging out in the shade. That's what I'm doing. I'm under a bridge hanging out in the shade. Oh yeah, I just put a piece of fresh bait on. I'm gonna put it in the shade. I hear a vehicle that has stopped up on the bridge and was driving over by my vehicle over there. Wonder what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know why I'm being investigated here. I'm not trespassing. I'm under the bridge. I'm on the road. Yeah, that was weird. Weirdos out in the country. I wonder if they're debating on whether they wanted to smash my window and see what's inside or what. I'm changing up the strategy a little bit. Let me show you what I'm doing. You probably can't see, but downstream a little ways there is some shade down there. Right down there below that tree there. That's probably about 25-30 yards downstream there. I'm going to try and put that bottom bait, that cut bait piece down there. And somehow that bait got stolen. Huh. I did not detect a bite, but somehow that bait got stolen. There's that creek chub swim bladder right there. Perfect view of it. Interesting. Alright, well, let's make this precision cast. I need to go down to the water's edge here. See if I can increase my chances of making this precision cast. I don't know. Nope. A little bit short. This is a good first try. I'm gonna give it another go here. Pretty close. I can do better than that. Yes, that's it. Boom. Perfect. That's it. That's the money cast right there. There's gotta be some fish hanging out over there in that shady spot. So I'm going to break out the Canadian crawlers here. I'm going to go with a little bit bigger chunk of worm on that hook and see what happens. And frankly, if I don't start getting a bite on a cut bait, on one of those cut bait, I might put a whole night crawler on there, see what happens there. There we go, just a big chunk of fat night crawler instead of a skinny little one. Let's see what happens. I also adjusted the bobber, so it would be about 1.5 feet below the bobber instead of a foot. I don't know how deep it is out there. Instant bite. Surprise, surprise, another creek chub. Glad to have you. Welcome to the shoreline. So I think what I'm going to do is just start a little live well here, since this is just creek water and they should be able to live in it for indefinitely. So yeah, I'll start a little live well here and just catch a bunch of creek chubs, fill it up. Well, it's interesting that that tilapia got bit, but my fresh cut creek chub did not. I'm going to reel it in and put on another piece of that tilapia and see what happens. That's grocery store tilapia. Obviously I didn't catch it around here. Yeah, my bait's still there, hasn't been touched. Huh. There we go, some old freezer burnt grocery store tilapia. I guess I'll stay up here to make that cast because that worked out pretty nice, being about 6 feet higher than the water level, I guess. That's it. Right into the snag. Perfect. Right into that bundle of branches there. Alright. Nope. That's not it either. Alright, last try to hit that spot down there. Otherwise, if I don't hit it this time, I'm just going to cast it in the easy spot. That's it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Alright, good. Whew. Yeah, it's just rebaiting. Somebody on a 4x4 machine drove up onto the bridge and dumped something off the bridge here. I can't tell what it is. It's like green and yellow chunks of stuff. Let's zoom in on it. That'll help me see it better because I can't even see it. It's all those green and yellow chunks. Camera doesn't want to zoom in. I don't know what those are. That kind of looks like pieces of squash or something. I just don't understand, people, why you would put in the time and the effort and waste gas to drive down to the creek to dump some cucumbers or something. That's what it kind of looks like. In the creek, not next to the creek, in the water. When you see that there's a car parked up there, when there's probably somebody down here. Maybe they did it on purpose. That could be. There's a house not that far up the road that they can see they could see my car, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just did it on purpose. People are vindictive like that. Yeah, some wacky wild stuff, I tell you what. So yeah, I switched out to a jig head, a little jig head, and a larger piece of worm. And I'm gonna switch to a larger bobber because I think I've scared all the creek chubs away. It's probably been an hour since I last checked in with you, and I've just been hanging out down here, enjoying the quiet until I got interrupted, right until I got startled by some falling debris. You can't go anywhere. You just can't. You can't go anywhere without encountering annoying people. Yeah, that stuff that they dump, I don't know, it looks like plant material, plant matter to me, so yeah, it's not really pollution or anything. Makes me wonder what other stuff they come dump down here. I saw lots of furniture at the various creeks that I checked before this one today. Lots of mattresses and couches. Well, what was left of them anyway, the metal frames laying in the water. Earlier this summer, I was out riding my bike out on gravel roads, and I came up to one of these bridges over a little creek, and there was a vehicle parked on the bridge. And as I approached, I was probably a quarter mile away, and as I approached, I saw them drag some stuff out of the back of their truck and dump some liquid over the side of the bridge, and then they took off. And by the time I got up there, I looked down, and there was an oil slick running down the stream, and all the oil didn't actually go in the water. It hit the grass right next to the water, but obviously everything goes downhill, so there was an oil slick. They dumped some kind of motor oil or fuel, something, oil, into the creek. Why wouldn't you just, if you're gonna just be reckless and dump some stuff like that, why wouldn't you just dump it like in the ditch alongside the road or something like that? Like, why would you dump it, try to get it like in the water? It's just baffling. Well, I've got the medium and large rigs down that way, just sitting there. I haven't had a bite in a long time. It's been about an hour. I busted out the uber tiny rig here. I'm gonna see if I can catch some more creek chubs, I guess. There we go. Yeah, there's really small creek chubs in here apparently. The other day I was fishing at a different creek and caught quite a few chubs that could probably eat this one. Big ones out of that creek, little ones in here. Let's see how many little mini creek chubs I can get in my little live well here. What was that, 4? I guess that's only 3. I must have thrown one back. I think that might be the tiniest one yet. If you hold still for just a second. Yeah, that's probably the tiniest one yet. Yeah, more itsy bitty. Maybe smallest fish should be the goal for today. Well, I came here today to learn what was living in the creek underneath this bridge, and I found out the answer. It's creek chubs. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little creek chubs, and I'll be using those for catfish bait sometime in the future. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.